It's time to update your wardrobe with JCPenney. Fall has arrived, and so have a great range of amazing deals to help you express your style this season. Shop for everyone in the family, from suits, trousers, sweaters, denim, jackets, and more. And finish off your look with your favorite makeup and skincare brands at JCPenney Beauty. Shop in store or online today. JCPenney. Make it count.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Hey, Pat.
Yes, Joe.
Have you heard of a Hungarian, well, she's an American skiing for Hungary, a Hungarian half-pipe team member named Elizabeth Swanee?
No, I have not.
She can't ski.
Oh, she can't actually ski. She can
cannot
snowboard and do the tricks.
Well, half-pipe is when you go down the half-pipe with two skis.
Right, a
Yeah,
triple
and then you go up
flyover.
in the air. Yeah.
No,
you
she
go up in the
can't.
air.
She can't ski.
She can't actually ski down a hill.
She goes
Barely.
up the. She goes up
She
the.
goes
pipe.
up the wall of the pipe and then
then-
gingerly turns herself around and comes back down.
Well, then.
Pat, here I'll solve it for you. You follow Deadspin on Twitter, correct, Patrick?
No. Yeah, somewhat.
Okay, go to the Deadspin account. Their last tweet 44 minutes ago says the Winter Olympics feature 2,951 of the world's greatest athletes and also this woman.
Well, she claimed that she was the Hungarian half-pipe team, huh?
Well,
Is
she
that right?
she has Hungarian maternal grandparents, and I don't know how you make the team, but she said she made the team by entering so many competitions, and apparently she accumulated enough competitive points, finishing even though she finished last. She would get points, and I suppose when it comes to Hungary, she had enough points to be in the.
and so she just goes out there and just goes up and down.
Yeah.
And, wow.
It's
That's
kinda
pretty
like when,
funny.
you know, a
Kinda
kid's-
Eddie the Eagle, the ski jumper, huh?
Yeah, but Eddie at least could ski jump.
Yeah.
She can't ski.
Does she tell us why she pulled this prank off? She just wanted to be an Olympian? or
Yes,
what?
yeah. But she acts like, I've been training really hard for this, and and it's either a bit. She's either doing a bit, or we've seen the ultimate end of the road here for everybody gets a medal.
Right.
You know, I told you about one of the highlights of Lillehammer was the guy who represented Fiji, the one athlete team from Fiji. He was an exchange student, or he was just a college student living in Oslo from Fiji. He was built like me, and he was entered in the cross country race, and he marched in with the Fiji flag. And here'd come the Finlanders, and here'd come the Norwegians, and here'd come the Ruskies, and here'd come the Yankees, and about, hour and a half later, here'd come this fat guy from Fiji. He was in the crowd cheer like crazy for him.
Well, we have a Nigerian bobsled team.
Yes, well, they're trying to get in on the Jamaican joke, actually, I suppose.
guess.
Huh? Did
Did they work out their wrinkles, their kinks with the
Jamaican and the coach? They had a feud because she was going to take her sled and go home.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Well, I got to say, my watching has been extremely limited.
Mine has too, but I did watch more of that than the NBA All-Star game.
I think I did too,
Yeah.
since I watched zero of the NBA All-Star game.
So you missed the worst anthem in history.
I watched the date. Oh, I liked it.
You did, huh?
Let's have some fun with it. What the hell? I'm so damn sick of the same bore-ass anthem we get every time. Let's do a little torchy lounge singing.
That's what it was turned into, a lounge song.
Fergie was like she was almost crawling across the piano when she sang it, like Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie that
the Baker Boys.
It was the Baker Boys version of the anthem. It was.
Well, you are a contrarian.
Well, yeah.
Here's the big finish. Here we go.
Plus, she's not a very good singer. Oh, God almighty.
That's enough.
That's just too much. I can't take it.
So bad.
Well, no, she was having fun with it. What the hell? Everybody takes it so serious. God, we hear the damn thing out 700 times a year, for goodness sakes.
Pat, the Saturday night stuff.
You know, if it's a serious event, give us a serious version. But it's the NBA All-Star Game. Who cares?
They should have 2 nights of what they did Saturday night. That stuff was pretty fun.
Okay.
They put on a pretty good show.
They thought the game was thrilling, except it's the NHL did this, 4 years ago, right? They just chose up sides for a couple of years. The trouble when you choose up sides is you don't know who's playing for who.
Yeah.
You know, unless you got to have the rosters in front of you to see who's playing for who. At least when you got the East playing the West, you know who's playing for who. But I didn't watch it, so I don't care. I don't watch the NBA All-Star Game.
Are you having seasonable weather?
Well, we're kind of disappointed. It was about 5 of the greatest days in history, and now there's clouds today. We're very upset. We got clouds. Yes,
that's
it's
terrible.
about noon. The clouds rolled in. It's very upsetting. They're out here. It looks like it might possibly rain, and I know you guys aren't going through anything up there. So,
it's raining here. Freezing snow. And
is that really?
What is it doing? Is it raining or snow?
Sleet. I'll put it this way, Pat. Kenny was here at noon.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of traffic problems.
If we didn't have President's Day, we'd be in big trouble.
That's what we were saying. Mm-hmm. Here, I don't trust you, so I'll look it up and see what it is down there.
I'd say she's about 82 and a little cloudy right now.
I got 80. I'm showing 80.
Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah,
top down. That's top down weather.
Oh, yeah. Although, see, I don't leave the top down when I go inside anymore.
No, you learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson last year. Yes, I did.
You have giant trees growing out of your carpet in that.
No, we took it to like 7 different places to make sure it was dried out.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, we had the golf tournament on, and I said, you know who's not playing very well? Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson.
Well, he played pretty well over the weekend.
Yeah, he did. Is he lined up crooked, though, isn't he? It's amazing where he's he's got that front foot out there and was set off way right. He's hitting that big old fade. But, man, he hits it a long ways. He's won, 3 times there, right?
I believe so. That was his 10th career victory.
Yeah, but
he's got 2 Masters, doesn't he?
You would think that he'd be the last guy to win a tight, fairly short, small green Riviera. Why would that be a good course for a guy who hits it 100 miles?
I don't know.
It's very strange. Yes, it is.
Has he still got the General Lee? Does he still drive that thing
I don't know
around?
if he kept that or sold it.
I think he did, but did he get rid of the Confederate flag?
I don't know.
So they did something with the Confederate flag. Maybe he did sell it.
He said yesterday he had been considering retirement.
Mm-hmm.
What? He can't even be 40.
Well, but he owns a car dealership and he owns a bunch of other stuff, and he said, I could stay busy. He was so disappointed in his winless drought for 2 years that he was considering retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's back. They'll never get rid of him.
Boy, did I see an agitator the other day. I was driving back from Lakeland, and I took 4 to 75 and then came back down, so it was probably rather than cut through the jungle. Mm-hmm. When I went up, I went through the jungle, but when I came back, I came on the freeway. Right when 4 meets 75, there's an empty area, and there's a flagpole that goes 100 feet in the air, and there's the biggest Confederate flag you ever saw in your life.
Really?
Hanging. You got to know it's some private landowner, some old redneck that says, take a look at this, baby, and I suppose they can't do anything about it. But it's
no, that's taunting.
It's as big as the batter's eye at a ballpark. It's unbelievable.
Have you ever heard of Baghdad, Florida?
No.
That's where Bubba's from. Where in the hell is Baghdad,
Really?
Florida?
I do not know. It sounds like a panhandle place, doesn't it?
Sounds scrubby, doesn't it?
I tell you, when you go through the jungle, man, you go by towns that look a lot worse than the worst parts of Baghdad.
You're about as north and west as you can possibly get in Baghdad, Florida.
So it is up in the Panhandle.
It is a
Santa
panhandle.
Rosa County.
Panhandle, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Redneck Riviera. So. All right. Well, anyhow, we had the open house down here today, and quite a few people showed up, and they let people wander around. They had the concession stands open. The Twins had their first official workout. They had BP at the on the big field, and we got to meet the new chucker, Jake Odorizzi. He had his first day here. Slender fella, nice guy. He was, very low key, but answered all the questions, and that nice pickup for the Twins there. And I just figured it out. The cheap poll-ads have spent $20.95 million, $21 million on 4 veteran pitchers for this year, the cheap poll-ads.
That isn't so cheap, is it?
No, but they're, we don't like it. We're mad. We wanted somebody else.
More money.
Yes, spend more money.
All right, just a moment, please. Pat, I'm going to run something by you. Maybe you can solve it.
I'm ready.
Because no one else has been able to, including Kenny.
Okay.
Police in Berlin responded to cries for help from 2 men in an apartment. One of them was 61, one of them was 58. When the cops got into the apartment, the 2 guys were hopelessly entangled with a mannequin and a toy remote car. My question is...
I cannot answer this.
My
This
question
sounds like a
is,
prank.
what is the role of the car?
What are we doing?
What's with the car?
Practicing for the back seat, I guess.
And they
I
were
don't know.
both too drunk to explain to the cops what happened. But I want to know what the role of the remote car is.
How do we identify these jets
No.
by age? Or
Yeah,
anything?
61 and 58.
Okay, well.
One was visitor and one was the tenant.
One was the smart one, and
Yeah.
one was the not the smart
No,
one.
they were both dumb. I mean, they got entangled with a mannequin.
And then we discovered, Patrick, after this story, that Joe grew up with a mannequin in his grandmother's
I
basement.
did not grow up with
Right.
it. She
Yeah.
happened
Hey,
to
how you
have
doing?
one.
Well,
Right.
did she do it to sew
Yeah,
or what?
yeah,
To make
yeah.
dresses or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
I mean, that's a legitimate... that's a legitimate...
It wasn't used for
legit.
frivolity.
No.
There goes Joey down to the basement
Yeah,
again.
they're right off there. We go to Grandma's again?
No.
No.
Well, no one has yet provided the answer as to the role of the toy car. That's what gets me.
Was it like one of those little Shriner cars, too, that they drive around in?
don't know.
Joe, I know you can't see this, but Rookie has his Twitter account pulled up, and a listener by the name of Kenny submitted a photo of if Patrick was in town today, what would happen. You see a convertible parked at a parking lot with the top down and all the, with the snow flying in the background.
Yeah. We got the Wild tonight. They're at the island.
Nope.
They won already.
Game's over, Joe.
Oh, my God. That was a matinee.
President's Day out in New York.
Did the Wild win?
5-3, sir.
Yes.
The President's Day
I was
matinee.
following it.
huh?
Yeah, they were down 2-1, and then they went ahead 3-2, and they held on
Zucker
and
had
won.
2 more goals today.
Anders Lee had one for the Islanders. He got 30 now, the kid from Edina. He's having a hell of a
Did he
year.
play for
But
the Gophers?
Zucker, yes, a year, right?
Your paper had
year
a
or two.
fascinating, it might have been a Kurt Giles piece. Who am I thinking of? Not Kurt Giles. Kurt, a friend Kurt, who writes the history.
Kurt Brown?
Kurt Brown. Might have been a piece of his. I can't remember. Your paper had a fascinating history yesterday of why this state's called the Gopher State.
Not because we had a lot of Gophers?
No, because somebody did a famous cartoon in pre-statehood showing a team of gophers towing a carriage ridden in by wealthy industrialists who wanted to tax people in order to build railroads. And for some reason, we became known as the Gopher State because the Gophers were hauling the carriage around.
Well, that's one I'd never heard. Kurt, he doesn't really. He lives in Colorado now.
I didn't know that.
He just kind of does these. That's become his expertise. And once a month or something, twice a month, he cranks these things out. I think on a freelance basis, and they're great.
They're fascinating. I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He lives in Colorado now?
Yep.
He moved there full time?
Yep.
What, to ski or what? Or to smoke dope? Or
I was about to say it's legal there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure as a family man, he no longer smokes dope. But my favorite Kurt Brown story, I've told you it before.
Yeah, it's a good one.
McAllister football has the 51-game losing streak, right? 50-game losing streak. Kurt Brown is the editor of the Mac Weekly.
All right.
And they're very proud of this losing streak. They think it's wonderful, right? Mm-hmm. And they finally win a game against Mount Scenario or somebody, a non-conference game on a late field goal. And the Mac Weekly runs 2 paragraphs on it. And the second paragraph says, it appeared the field goal was wide left, but they called it good, right? So, they basically poo-pooed the idea that the losing streak was over. And Tom Hosier was the hard-nosed Mac football coach. And he wrote a letter to the Mac Weekly accusing the Mac Weekly staff of not only being horrible young newsmen and women, but of using the proceeds from the advertising for marijuana and cocaine. And he said that. And Kurt Brown, as the editor, wrote a little editor's response at the bottom, denying that they used any of the money for cocaine. Back in the frolicking days of the 70s or whatever the hell it was. So, yeah, he does a great job writing those things.
Well, he didn't consult me before he moved to Colorado, so that's why it comes as a great surprise to me.
He was a sports writer for a while,
for years. I always said he was my protege. I loved him, but he was in on the Denny, the whole mess with Denny when, he ended up looking like Saddam Hussein down there in the bunker and that whole thing. And he kind of lost his taste for sports writing when he had everybody screaming at him, at the Viking locker room. So he went on to other pursuits.
The girls' state high school hockey tournament is, Rook, you help me, is this week, right?
It starts on Wednesday.
And you'll be one of the proud parents with the giant button of your kid on the
United made it?
St. Paul United beat South St. Paul in overtime. In South St. Paul.
At Doug Woog Arena?
At Doug Woog Arena, and they got in, so they play Wednesday night at 8 o'clock.
They're the last game.
On Wednesday, correct.
Who do they play?
Are they a Class A school or Class AA?
They're Class A.
Who is United? Visitation and SPA?
And St. Paul Academy. And they play Alexandria.
How the hell is South St. Paul a Class A school?
So, they are a smaller school. I don't know what their attendance is or their enrollment is, but they have been.
And where do you live again?
I live in South St. Paul.
Okay, just
they were a little upset.
Established.
They weren't good recruiters.
Okay.
Visitation gave us a better offer, so.
But in your defense, that's your school, right?
That is, that is.
So,
Who is, who else is in the tournament?
Number 1 seed is War Road, and they're playing New Ulm, as you say.
New Ulm.
Breck.
3 syllables.
Number 2 seed is playing Marshall, and then Red Wings, a very good team.
Marshall, Minnesota, or Duluth, Marshall?
Marshall, Minnesota, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right, hold that thought. We'll be back in a moment. Here's John Height.
Thank you, Joe. Cloudy, still some light snow, and 23 degrees. The Wild win their President's Day matinee game today out on the East Coast. They defeat the Islanders 5-3. It's now official. The Vikings have announced Todd Downing as the senior offensive assistant, bringing him back to his hometown after he served last year as offensive coordinator for the Raiders. Downing will begin his 18th season in the NFL, the first 5 of which were with the Vikings as an intern systems analyst and quality control coach.
Didn't he used to coach at Eden Prairie? I think he was one of Mike Grant's assistants. Right?
He played quarterback there also at Eden Prairie before he helped out there. He's supposed
to be a fairly sharp guy, but did Jack Del Rio get fired? Or did
I remember they hired Gruden.
They hired Gruden, yeah.
Oh, that's right. They brought Gruden back. Yeah, he doesn't like Minnesotans. He got rid of this kid.
Downing's also been with the Rams, Lions, and Buffalo Bills. News notes from today. A former student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison who's accused of sexually assaulting and stalking female students is expected to plead guilty on Wednesday. 21-year-old Alex Cook of Edina was scheduled to go to trial next week in one of the cases against him. Instead, the Wisconsin State Journal reports he'll plead guilty to 5 of the 21 counts he faces. His attorney says the guilty plea will resolve all of the 7 cases he's facing charges in. Jessa Getz says a sentencing hearing will be held in about 3 months. Cook was initially charged in 2016 with 12 counts of varying degrees of sexual assault involving 6 different women and other charges including stalking. Prosecutors and police say 11 women have been victims of sexual assault or harassment by Cook. United States Postal Service honoring a St. Paul letter carrier after he saved a woman's life. Michael O'Neill has delivered mail to Janine Zimmerman's home for 16 years. But on one cold, snowy day in December, O'Neill found Zimmerman helpless on the frozen ground in front of her home.
Did the turkeys get her?
No. Zimmerman said she'd gone outside to grab her mail. She lost her balance and fell. She's I don't want to call her elderly, but she's an older lady. O'Neill.
Do you have an age?
How old, John?
I don't have that. I did see the interview with her, though. I would guess she's probably 80.
Okay.
In that area.
So would you say old bat or old battle axe? Which one would you say?
Kindly grandmother.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, that's much
Joe.
better.
Yeah.
I like that description.
Did she have a mannequin in her basement?
Not that I'm aware of.
You guys ever solve that? The mannequin issue?
No.
No, do you have any ideas?
Ran it by Pat. He has no idea what role the car played.
Yeah. Car's a mystery.
O'Neill.
Do you think the car had a camera mounted on it?
Maybe.
And they were just getting different angles?
Like
with
a
the
zoom,
camera?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or else the car had a cord attached to it, and that was part of their entanglement.
Anyway, John, you were saying
The
something.
guys were fully clothed,
So
though, right?
I have this sweet story, and you guys started to talk about that again. I see.
Yes.
Well, these are my people, the postal people. It doesn't surprise me that one of them would step forward.
Well, Michael,
I thought they were gonna. I thought they were going to tell us he found her on the kitchen floor when he went in to get his free coffee and donut that he got every morning when he went there.
O'Neill said she's a sweet, sweet person. I felt horrible because she was very vulnerable at that point. So the postman carried Zimmerman inside, wrapped her in a blanket, and waited with her until her grandchildren got there.
By coffee and donut, what do you mean, Pat? Is that
aren't they famous for drinking coffee at everybody's house?
No, they're not.
They make the route around.
No, they're not.
It's not the same as canning apricots, is it?
No.
Really thought this was just a nice, sweet story.
I'm sorry you had so much trouble with it, John.
I'm not done yet.
She does seem like a nice person, though.
Weeks,
I don't know why.
It's a long story.
Weeks went, you guys would shut up. Weeks went by, and O'Neill thought nothing more of the incident, but Zimmerman wanted to make sure he was recognized.
Who's Zimmerman?
That's the woman.
That's the nice lady.
Okay.
She wrote the river
with the apricots.
and the donuts and the coffee.
Right.
She wrote the Riverview.
Isn't that a thing?
I think so. It's a part of their tradition.
Wrote the Riverview U.S. Post Office station and explained what had happened and how O'Neill had cared for her.
Well, good for him.
The Postal
that's
Service
sweet.
has since awarded O'Neill with a meritorious award.
They probably gave him a sheet of forever stamps.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Huh?
Did you see the distressing news from Sweden?
But they're running out of cash?
Cash.
Yeah.
Nobody uses cash.
Yeah.
Banks won't give you cash.
I have to have cash.
I gotta have cash.
I got to have cash.
I'm not moving to Sweden. To hell with them.
Yeah.
Law enforcement.
That's it. That's the
Yeah,
deal
there you
breaker.
To hell with the Swedes.
Take that, Sweden.
That's a hell of a hot take.
That's the tiebreaker right there.
See, you are on the mark.
Sweden
today.
was in the running
What
until
are we going to
this.
do if we happen to be alive 5 years from now and that's sweeping this country?
I don't want
too?
any part of it. I need
I'm
cash.
not going up to get on an airplane and show them my cell phone. The hell with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hand them a piece of paper.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with cash, but I know what you
But
mean.
the same thing.
Right.
Pretty soon you're going to have a cell phone or.
We did the cell phone boarding passes this last week.
I hope they got all screwed up.
The glare that people showed the bride as she had to, scan the one boarding pass for the little guy,
right.
then reset it for the next person. We were not well liked. in
My
that.
friend that works at the airport says, just do the paper stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Law enforcement detained the driver.
Yeah, a buddy I know.
Okay.
Thomas?
Law enforcement detained the driver of the press van in President Trump's motorcade this morning in West Palm Beach after U.S. Secret Service found a handgun in the driver's bag. The handgun was found during a routine security screening prior to the motorcade departure from the President's Mar-a-Lago Club to Trump International Hotel. The driver told law enforcement he forgot to leave his gun behind in his personal car before getting into the press van to drive the pool of journalists trailing the president.
Well, why shouldn't this guy have a gun?
Maybe he
What's
wasn't
the big
authorized.
deal?
Well, he's in proximity of the president.
Yeah, but he's go back to the beginning.
He's just a chauffeur. He's not a security guy.
Oh, he's a private guy?
Yeah, he's
That they
a.
hired?
That one time I went and go to see George W. Bush, and I was in the press pool.
All right.
They got a whole bunch of drivers.
All right.
By the way,
I was packing though.
the President of the United States. President of the United States is getting goofier by the hour.
Don't ask
Have
me.
you noticed this? Have you noticed this? He's getting goofier by the hour.
I have some good news for
I
you.
have no business to talk, so I'm not saying anything.
When it comes to making it into your 90s, booze actually beats exercise, according to a new long-term
See?
study.
What I tell you earlier, Joe?
Yep. What the hell?
Research led by University of California neurologist Claudia Kawaz tracked 1,700 nonagenarians enrolled in the 90-plus study that began in 2003 to explore impacts of daily habits on longevity.
Sid doesn't drink. He's still hanging around.
Well, why do you think these people in these nursing homes are all 100? Because they all have a cocktail hour.
Researchers discovered that
Rage is the only thing keeping Sid alive.
discovered that subjects who drank about 2 glasses of beer or wine a day were 18% less likely to experience a premature death. Participants who exercised 15 to 45 minutes a day cut the same risk by only 11%. Kawaz
They
said,
going to booze at all?
Well, then drink and exercise, you're up to 29%.
A couple of Moscow mules a day are okay.
Kawaz said, I have no explanation for it, but I do firmly believe that modest drinking improves longevity.
How about 17 craft beers and texting your coworkers about the Olympics?
Yeah,
no,
what is wrong with
that's
you?
early death.
I got a question
really
for you. How about if you don't drink or exercise? What are they telling you?
Straight Diet Coke.
You're just rolling the dice then.
You're just drinking Diet Cokes. That's all. That's all that's between you and instant death.
Guitar company Gibson could be on the brink of bankruptcy, according to a report. The company, whose Les Paul and SG instruments have been played by generations of rock stars, was founded more than 100 years ago in Michigan. Gibson's chief financial officer, Bill Lawrence, recently left the firm just 6 months before $375 million of senior secured notes were due to mature, according to a report from the Nashville Post. Gibson, which has annual revenues of more than $1 billion, has another $145 million in bank loans that will be due immediately if those senior secured notes are not refinanced by mid-January.
Somebody
Or mid-July,
was doing
I'm sorry,
something wrong.
mid-July. CEO Henry Juskowitz is thought to be in a race against time to decide whether to exchange the company's debt, look to try and pay it off using his equity, or try to declare the company bankrupt. The U.S.-based company has hired investment bank Jefferies to help figure out its current financial situation.
Why, John? Why? Why are they going?
Well,
Are there cheaper versions available? Is
much
that what's
cheaper. Gibson's a very expensive guitar,
They
depending
take
on
in
what
$1
model
billion
you buy.
a year.
Yeah, but they also have $500 million in,
What's
unsecured
weird now,
debt.
Such, is you can spend $150 on a guitar that's almost as good as an $800 guitar. You just change the pots, the knobs, and a few other things, and you're rocking an $800 guitar. Am I right, John?
Yeah, you are correct. You are
John, you know what else would keep you alive?
correct.
Being 89 years old and being down here at 20 to 5, walking around pushing some big heavy thing on an infield like George Toma is right now. Just turned 89 in February, and he's out there. And there's the young guys are sitting there looking at George while he's doing the pushing and the working.
Gibson just needs to sell more picks.
What the hell?
Former Minneapolis Mayor Betsy Hodges caused a bit of a stir on Twitter this weekend. She tweeted, "We've been in this restaurant bar for over an hour. They're playing classic rock, mostly 70s. Their music service has yet to play a single woman's voice, not even a duet, not even backup. Hashtag just noticing."
Wait, Joe, it gets a whole lot better.
That tweet got a couple thousand replies pretty much immediately. Some were complimentary, but not the majority.
Most were not.
Among the replies, just noticing your life must be exhausting looking for ridiculous, inconsequential things to be triggered about.
God almighty.
Another one.
Plain Betsy, she's ours, but we got rid of her.
Give me a couple more.
Another one. This has to be a joke. No one can be this triggered.
And this was a global reaction,
Yes,
Joe.
yeah.
She got reaction.
Is she
from,
talking about being in a local pub?
Yeah.
Then, let's see, there was, I got more
But
yellow.
she got the free gig, at Harvard, where she's going to be a fake professor.
You're kidding.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What is she going to teach? Bike lanes?
Yeah, something like that.
Does that mean she's relocating?
I have no idea.
Another one said, I got more yellow Skittles than I did red ones. I feel your outrage.
Same with me. Same with me. When I get dots, I got to throw all the red ones out the window.
Oh, don't you
the red
dare!
I hate the red
Oh,
ones.
that's
I like a red
offensive.
dot.
I hate the red. No, I drive along the freeway throwing red dots out the window.
That's un-American, and it's littering.
Well, yeah.
Dots
no,
hurt
a
my
dot.
teeth.
What would you?
They hurt my
If a
teeth.
guy stopped you and
Take your teeth
said,
out.
if a guy stopped you and said, "What'd you throw out the window?" and you said a red dot, he'd just let you go because he thought you were crazy, right?
Right, because nobody throws red dots away.
I'm just feeding the gators.
Later, after all these tweets and answers, she tweeted, "Hey, kind people of Twitter, would you please be willing to share photos of cute animals, yours or others? The trolls are still doing their thing with my feed right now, and I'd rather see cute animals."
Oh, my God.
Thank you. She did follow that with a bunch of Daytona 500 tweets, though, which...
The trolls. When you've got 2,000 reactions to your dumb tweet, it's not trolls. It's the public. It's the world, Betsy, you nut.
Did you ever take Betsy, though, for a Daytona 500 fan? She had
No,
a bunch
I
of,
did not.
bunch of
Found that
tweets.
shocking
Was she trying to save her ass right there?
She,
by
what,
going
is she
with the
about how
Daytona?
upset she is about Danica being done?
No. She seemed somewhat knowledgeable, actually.
Well, she said something to the effect of, "It's so happy now I don't have to work on the weekends. I can
Yeah, so
watch a
she can
Daytona
watch it.
race."
And she
Is she
also
still in the bar at this point?
No, I think she was at home because she apologized for her to her neighbors for shrieking.
for shrieking during the
Really?
during
Yeah.
the race.
Yeah, you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, Chris Reavers.
How's the new
Gross.
guy doing? How's the new guy doing, Kenny? You're a Minneapolis
I
taxpayer.
have no idea.
Haven't done anything
Couldn't care
yet.
less. I'm out of here in 6 months.
Wow, there's some breaking news.
He'll
Huh?
be on the farm in Todd County or whatever it is. What
yeah.
county is that?
Douglas before the fall. Yeah.
It's the county of mind your own
Dakota,
business.
Dodge, and Douglas are your D counties.
And I'm going to tell you right now, all of you guys can kiss my ass.
Are you going to be doing traffic from
Maybe,
somewhere
but
else?
if I don't, so what?
Wow.
As long as I'm there.
In an odd way, I like your attitude.
Last
I'll
week
drive
you
a
were,
manure spreader if I have
Last
to.
week you were Mr. Charm. What happened over the weekend that stirred you up?
I
man?
stayed
Last
in
week you were
town.
engaged.
Monday
You
happened.
were wonderful.
It
And
always
today
happens.
you're just a snake.
If you'd shut up, I tell you. My God. I stayed in town over the weekend, and that
Okay.
always bums me out.
Okay, all right.
A pilot had to make an emergency landing after a fight broke out over a passenger who allegedly refused to stop passing gas. Two Dutchmen were sitting next to the flatulent passenger,
course.
reportedly asking the man to stop. He refused and continued to break wind aboard the Transavia airline flight.
Was it loud and boisterous, gas?
It was going from
I'm not even going
Dubai.
to play my fart buttons because I can't bring myself to do it anymore.
Flight from Dubai.
Oh, now that you're
to
on the wall
Amsterdam.
at the museum. Renowned broadcaster.
Somebody else play with it. We got some new ones.
The budget airline.
Some wet ones?
The budget airline crew allegedly did not help the passengers after their complaints, according to Metro, leading to an on-plane fight between the men. Despite a
That one
warning,
was my. I'm sorry, but that
Sir,
one was
you
my
must
favorite.
stop that now, please,
That
sir.
was,
Was that...
That was authentic.
Let me give it a little push here.
Sir, we're going to have to ask you to stop that or we'll divert the flight.
Once it starts, it just
No, we're
doesn't
going to divert
stop.
the flight.
It's like the hiccups. Who can stop?
Didn't you come in after a hot dog eating contest? Record those?
Yes, I did. Those are all authentic.
I don't want to hear this.
No.
Sir,
Quite
stop.
a,
You have to stop, sir.
Wait, hang on. What's the next stop?
Sauerkraut.
Can I get you some toilet paper, sir?
Nah, I'm going Grunders.
What I'm really worried about is this story has another page left.
Forget it, John. Let it go.
Look, it's a Dutch. We need a Dutch voice here.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
That one smells like weed. What do you been?
And then this one.
Oh, didn't they have to land the plane?
They did because there was a fight on the plane. The altercation continued.
Well, I don't blame him.
We call this one the Three Stooges. Listen. Hello.
Hall of Famer Joe Suchere.
Brooke is having he's having so much fun with this story. He has no idea what the story's even about.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hurt.
That's enough.
Guys, rookie named him.
Yeah.
Well, John. Well, John,
Kenny.
how many times did the guy get hit in the gut and then just fart even more?
The fight made the plane divert to Vienna Airport. Four people were taken into custody. 4 people taken into custody, but eventually released with no charges.
You got one called Dr. Mo, Dr. Larry, Dr. Curley.
Hey, Pat, are we being broadcast at Hammond Stadium?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay, good.
Speaking of fights, a South Pacific cruise was interrupted by brawls apparently caused by a 23-member family who kept throwing punches at other passengers.
I call this one like you're proud of yourself because you came up with a name.
Like an artist or a painter or something, a sculpture.
Let me tell you about this one. I call this one the dungeon.
No, you got to wait for it. You got to listen. You got to listen to what it means.
This is the dungeon.
I like
Dark
this.
and wet.
I like this story, John, that you're working on here. Can you proceed?
Well, I'll try. The Carnival
Royce,
legend.
now the classiest member in the staff.
That's a sad commentary. Isn't it?
The Carnival legend arrived at its home port of Melbourne Saturday, a day after the family was offloaded in an unscheduled stop in Eden, New South Wales, in Australia. It was, quote, a big Italian family, 23 people, spent days attacking Australians aboard the ship, with people getting strangled and punched, according to other passengers.
What the hell?
One passenger said they were very violent attacks, full on. She questioned the ship's management, quoting the captain as saying, "What do you want me to do about it? Throw him overboard?"
Walk the plank.
Cell phone video footage of the brawl on Friday shows security guards fighting and trying to separate passengers amid lots of shouting and kicking. They were dropped off early. And Carnival Cruise Line said it's offering guests a 25% future cruise credit as a goodwill gesture.
Do we know what stirred up the Italians there, Jeff?
Nope, just they apparently like to fight.
They like to fight. Okay.
What's coming up, Patrick?
We're going to talk to Jordan Bianchi about the Daytona 500. Ask him if you ever seen Betsy Hodges at a NASCAR race, and a lot of talk about Jake Odorizzi and the Twins and what's going on down here on the first day of official training camp, when both where the position players have joined the pitchers and catchers. Brian Dozier not here today. He's trying to get rid of kidney stones.
Is Odorizzi pretty good?
He's good. He's a good, solid pitcher, and he's only 20. He'll be 28 later this month, so he should be in his prime right now. So,
and they got him from what, Tampa?
Fine. Yeah, I got him for Tampa. Gave up their fourth best shortstop prospect. Pretty good young player, but not one of their better young players. So
1500 ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis. It's 22.